my baker friends. This is another Father's Day little project that you can make for your dad. And we will not be in school any longer when you celebrate Father's Day with your dad, but I wanted to post a couple activities for you, and this is one of them. For this particular project, you can either print out this template, and it has some different words on it, and those words will make sense in a minute when we start to fold the paper. But if you want to make your own with and personalize it with your own words, or if you have some other ideas, I'm going to show you how to just fold the booklet without, so you don't need the template to do this project, but you can certainly feel free to use the template. So for the very first thing that we want to do, and I'm going to do it with both so you'll get to see. So the very first thing that we need to do is we need to put our paper so that it is vertical, which means it is the tall way. And then what we are going to do is we're going to fold this paper hamburger style, which means that we are going to fold the bottom corners up to meet the top corners, just like that. And then I'm going to hold with my left, and then I'm going to swipe down, swipe right, swipe left. So we're just folding this in half. We want to get a nice crease, so we can also rub your scissors along, or just again, just take your fingers like this. Okay, then we're going to open this up, and then we are going to fold it in half again, but we are going to fold it in half where we're bringing the bottom corners up to meet the fold here. And then I'm holding, and I'm swiping down, and I'm swiping right, and I'm swiping left. I really want to make sure I get a nice good fold there. So now my paper has a fold here, fold here. Now what we can do is we're going to flip it, and I'm also going to fold it in half this way. So I'm bringing the corners. So now my paper is folded into fours. Now, if I was just doing it with the regular piece of paper, I would do the same thing. I'm going to fold up hamburger style, swipe down, swipe right, swipe left. And then I'm also then going to bring the bottom corners up to the fold, swipe down, swipe right, swipe left. Then I'm going to turn my paper around, and then I'm going to line up those corners, swipe down, swipe right, swipe left. So either way, this plain paper is divided into quarters. The template is divided into quarters. So go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you the next step. All right, we're ready for the final fold. So what we're going to do is we are going to fold the paper in half, but we are going to fold it in half hot dog style. So your paper is now facing horizontally. And so I'm going to bring the bottom corners up, and I'm going to line up the corners, the bottom corners with the top corners. I'm going to hold with my left, and I'm swiping down, swiping right, swiping left. So now your paper is divided into 8 rectangles. And now it kind of makes sense. So inside this rectangle, it says "to my dad." And you can draw a picture in here of whatever you would like. Then the next one says "you are." You could write some adjectives to describe what your dad is. He's nice, he's kind, he's caring, he's loving. It says "I love you when ... with me." So I love when you, and you could say when you play with me, or I love when you eat with me, or any other things that you like that your dad does with you. We have "I love your." So you could say "I love your laugh," "I love your smile," different things. "You are the best dad because." You could say reasons why. And then "I love you more than," right? And you can have that. And then the last one is thank you for being my dad. And you can draw a picture in here. You can color this. So these were just some ideas that I had that are they're already printed on the paper. You can certainly add to it and personalize it more. You may want to design a whole nother booklet on your own. And so in this case, you're just going to take your plain paper, and we're going to do the same thing. We are going to divide it into 8 rectangles. So I'm bringing up the bottom corners and I'm lining them up with the top corners. Let me just make sure. There we go. Then I'm holding my paper, swiping down, then swiping right, swiping left. Okay? So same, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 rectangles, and they are blank slates, so you can decorate them however you want. Now, how are we going to turn this into a booklet? This is the neatest trick, and I have a book of, it's called Handmade Books, Making Handmade Books, and this is one of the fun, simple ways that you can make a little booklet. So what we're going to do, whether you are using the template or not, we are going to fold, actually we'll fold it in half so that we can see the words. I'm just going to fold the paper in half, and then you'll notice that you can see this fold line right here, right, going down the middle. So all we're going to do is we are only going to cut on this fold line and we're going to carefully cut on the line, and we're going to stop when we reach there. So it almost looks like a pair of pants. So we're only cutting that middle fold. If we're using our blank template, same thing, we are going to fold our paper in half. Actually, I'm going to fold it the other way. And you can see this fold line. I'll kind of fold it again so you can see it a little more. You can see this fold line right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors and we are just going to cut carefully and slowly along that line, and we're stopping right there at that fold line. So same thing, just have the wiggle like that. All right, now, well, how do we make this into a book, Mrs. Herbay? Now I have a piece of paper with a hole in it. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold the paper back in half. So we're going to fold this down, and then we're going to fold this down. So now our paper is back in half. So on one side it says, I love you, I love you're the best dad because, I love you more than, and thank you for being my dad. And then on the back side, it has the other words, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna it actually can stand. And you see this diamond shape inside here. What you're gonna do is you're going to hold each side with your fingers, and as you push it together, what happens is, see how it folds in like this? And so what you're gonna do is now you should see this thank you for being my dad is on the end, and then I love you, I love your is also on the end. So what you're gonna do is then you're going to take this and kind of sandwich them in, and then you're gonna fold thank you for being my dad on the end like this. So once it's folded up, your booklet should now look like this. So it should say, to my dad, you are, I love when you, with me, I love you are the best dad because, I love you more than, and thank you for being my dad. And then if you wanted to, you could even do something on the back. So you have this cool little booklet. Isn't that cool? And so if you are doing it without the template, the same thing is going to happen. You're just going to fold the paper back down in half like this. And see how when I stand it, I have the diamond shape. And then again, I'm just going to push that diamond shape together. And what you can do is you can also, before you fold it, you could take, if these folds don't seem very crisp, you can kind of fold them all. So here I am again. I've got my diamond shape. I'm going to push this together, and then I'm just going to grab that one, and this one. And then I'm folding it up. So same thing, now I have this 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have this cool little booklet. And since it doesn't have anything written on it, you can personalize it. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you use the back, you have 8. Here, that's not quite staying. You have 8 little rectangles to decorate and make into a really cool book for your dad. So whether you use this one or this one, you can do that. And so go ahead, fold your booklet, and then I'll just, for the last little part of the video, I'll give you some ideas of how you can fill up the booklet. All right, guys. I'm going to show you a few ideas for finishing up your booklets. One idea could be that you draw a picture of your dad on the front. I just drew a guy. This is not my dad. My dad does not have a beard. My dad's a little bit older now, so but anyway, so this is you could draw a picture of your dad on the front, and or maybe you want to draw a picture of you and your dad on the front, so you could draw your dad. Another thing to think about is a lot of times when people they think, oh no, I have to draw people, it's hard, but always remember shapes, right? So you can do a rectangle for the body, depending, maybe your dad has on shorts, so it's just 2 more rectangles. And then we've got our legs. Those are rectangles, right? And then as we go down to our feet, there's a shoe, then we have an arm, some fingers, and we can draw our hair. If you want to, you can just do simple and then you would be, here we can draw and same thing for kids, we have rectangles. And we'll kind of overlap the hands. Let's see how if I just draw, I'm just drawing rectangles and simple faces. I'll do no sandals. There we go. And then you could, let's draw. Whoopsie. It's a little bit. Details for the shorts. Legs get thinner as they go down. Let's do tennis shoe. Depending on where you and your dad are, you can draw a background. So those are some options. Another thing is that for the inside part, it says you are. And you could just write down all kinds of really nice words that describe your dad. So you could say helpful, nice, so you could just think of all of the different words that describe your dad, and you can just write them. Then here it says I love when you, and you could think about, like, maybe your dad plays catch with you or plays baseball with you or reads books with you or does all kinds of things. And what you could do is you could draw a picture of that. So let's say your dad, I'm just sketching a little sofa here. So you could draw a picture of you and your dad reading a book, maybe. Your dad's holding a book. And then here you are. You guys are reading a book. Maybe you have a kitty cat who's asleep on the back of the sofa. So, or you may say, the other thing is that let's say you're uncomfortable with your drawing. That's okay, because you can also just use your words. So instead of drawing a picture, you could say, I love when you read books with me. And maybe you and your dad have a favorite story you like to read together, or a favorite board game or sport that you like to play together. So those are some ideas. Then it says, I love your. And again, maybe you want to draw a picture of dad, like, I love your smile. And you can draw a picture of your dad smiling, or I love your hugs. And maybe you draw a picture of you and your dad giving each other a hug. So those are some ideas. And then you are the best dad because, and you can think of a reason why your dad is the best dad, like maybe because you teach me how about ride a bike, right? Or what are there's a million and one things you could think about here of why your dad is the best dad. And you can either, again, say it with words or with pictures. I love you more than, you could say, I love you more than ice cream, or I love you more than anything else in the world, or whatever it is. Other things that you can do with the pages are you could make little borders for the pages, like you could make like a little frame. Some like bubbling around here. And I'm just going to draw a straight line down across. So you can even jazz up where you put the words. You could make it look even fancier, like with a picture frame kind of thing. So you can do that. And I'm trying to think what else. You can also draw on the back. Once you have everything drawn, then feel free, you can use your crayons or your markers to go back and to add color. And if you're just using the regular booklet, you can feel free to use, oops, I think I got a little mark there. Feel free to use the template that I wrote out for some ideas if you want to, and you could write it in your own handwriting, or maybe there are some headings or categories that I didn't put that you want to put, so that's an option. So just really make this as nice and as interesting with lots and lots of fun details as you can. And then when you're all finished, you can add color. And this will be something special that your dad will have forever. As always, feel free to post your project to the Padlet, and I can't wait to see what you create.